Hi guys, I'm your host Abby McCracken, and this is The Table Unfiltered. I'm so excited to be back with you guys. So I just got back from my birthday trip. My birthday is July 5th. I bet you most of you have said happy birthday to me, so thank you so much. But I kind of just want to share a little bit about that because so every year since my birthday is like practically on the 4th of July, most people have like that time schedule off, and everybody wants to do something fun for the 4th of July. So basically I make all my friends go with me on like a birthday trip. And so we went to Sisters, Oregon, had an amazing time, and then drove back on my birthday. And then my friends surprised me with a birthday party. And so I don't want this to sound like selfish or anything like that, but I kind of just want to share what the Lord did, because I think this is just like, and you guys will get it like as we go on, like as I share. Like I always point at the table because there's a table in front of me, but like you guys can't see it, which I think is a little goofy that I point at it. But anyway, so I think you guys will get it like the more I share like what the Lord was doing, because honestly, like the Lord is so good. Like he's so good. And so every year, like before my birthday, or before a new year, or like somebody prophesies over me that I'm going into a new season, I spend some time prepping for that season or that year or the physical birthday. And so I'd spent some time like in prayer about my birthday and just looking over words and all the different things, and like, okay, 25, that's a big one. That's like halfway to 50. My friend the other day, she was like, Abby, you're almost 25, that's halfway to 30, which she meant like, I knew what she meant, even though it's so funny and cute because it's not true. She's thinking like 5 years to 30, but she said halfway. But yeah, anyway, so I think as I've like spent time like praying and all this stuff, like saying, okay, what is 25? Like it's a year of sacrifice. Like I know that, like it's a year of righteousness. Like those are what 25 mean. Your devotion. And I'm like, yeah, that's everything that the Lord is speaking to me about this year. But I also feel like there's more. And one of the big words that I felt like the Lord was saying was it's a year of trust. And so I feel like I came out of a year of like, there's a lot of promises on my life that I got when I was 23 and 24 that are really big. And they're almost like, yeah, Lord, I don't know if I believe in that. Like I don't know if I believe you can do that. Like I know you are the Lord of the impossible things, you're God of the impossible things, but like when I practically sit down and I think about it, I don't know if I actually trust you with those areas of my heart. I don't know if I trust you to actually do that. Like I know you're faithful and all that stuff, but like I'm being transparent with you guys. Like there's certain things that the Lord says over my life that I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that one. And he always shows up and he always does it, and it's never how I want it to be, but he always does do it. And there's a few promises that I really feel like, and some of the words that I've gotten, that it will happen when I'm 25. And I'm like, I don't know if I fully believe that, but what an exciting year it is to trust the Lord. And so we go on this birthday trip, which is mostly just the 4th of July trip. We have a great time. We're driving home, and so it's supposed to be a surprise party, which I hate surprises. Like I really passionately hate surprises, which I know I'm dealing with that. And so basically it wasn't a surprise anymore because somebody like accidentally shared that I was having a birthday party. And so my friends that I was riding with, they were taking an extra long time getting there. And then I get there, get ready, you know, all the different things, and then I have to leave, and then I have to come back, and it's this beautiful party that everybody has for me. And I'm just thinking like, yeah, we're gonna have a meal, we're gonna pray for me, that's it, have some cake, have a good time. And that's all I really want. Like I think the biggest thing for me is like when it comes to my birthday, I'd rather go have memories with people than a gift. Like I feel like gifts are so temporary, but like a memory lasts forever. Like I would rather go on a trip than get something. And so we go into this process, and I think for the last few years, I don't like my birthday. Like, I love my birthday, but I want you to hear, like, what I'm saying is, like, I don't like it because I feel like I get disappointed really easily. And that's a me issue. It's not everybody else. It's a me issue. And it all comes down to a lack of identity, a lack of trust in the Lord, and a lack of, like, feeling love. And that was another word that the Lord gave me, is that 2020, not 2025, my year, 25, will be a year of love and trust. And for a long time in my life, I've said, like, even publicly from, like, a pulpit, and I still don't disagree with this, but I think the Lord's softening my heart on this, is that I think loyalty is more valuable than trust. I think loyalty is more valuable than love. And I've said that publicly from pulpit, from many pulpits, that I think loyalty is more important than love. And that's, biblically, that's not even true. Jesus said the most important thing is love. And so I think I've created this model of loyalty because I've been burned so many times, and I've been hurt, and I have the scars, and all the different things. But instead of letting the Lord with his love and his mercy cauterize those wounds, I've kind of wore them as a badge. And so I'm like, if I can't trust you, like, I'll never love you. You'll never love me. And then I push people away. And so going into my birthday, I think that's a big reason why I don't like surprises, is because I don't want to be disappointed, because I've been disappointed too many times. I've been hurt too many times. And so one of my mentors, spiritual leaders in my life, told me one time that, Abby, it's not everybody else, but it's you. You're the problem. You hold everybody at an arm's length away because you don't want to be hurt. And I'm like, oh, that's really painful, because I love my friends really well, but I don't let them love me really well. And I want to be loved, but I don't want to be hurt. And I think that's everybody's heart. Like, it comes down to, nobody wants to be hurt. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be understood. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be celebrated. That's like a core of who we are, because that's what Jesus literally does for us. And we're literally the image bearers of Christ. And Jesus does that for others. And so why wouldn't he create us like that? And so I've lived fractured. And not all of those fractures are my fault. Some of them are my fault. But I've lived from a fractured place, and I haven't let Jesus heal those wounds. And so, all that to say, I get to my birthday party, and my sweet friend, Courtney, walks me out onto my deck. And there's flowers everywhere. There's cards, like handwritten cards, typed out cards, like all over the place, and this beautiful table. It's a beautiful oak table, and she's crying, and I'm like, I'm too overwhelmed to cry. And so she tells me that for my birthday, this is my gift, an oak table, which obviously you guys know why I love the table of the Lord. But oak trees, I have an oak tree right here tattooed on me, and one of my life verses is Isaiah 61, about the oak of righteousness being planted by the Lord. And I'm a planted daughter. I'm not a daughter that has been aborted. I'm not a daughter that has been put in an orphanage. I'm a planted daughter of the King of Kings. And each of you are, or a son. But that's like the pivotal thing. That's what any word that I've been given, like, you can tell me the most extraordinary things that God's going to do with me. Amazing, and I know that's true. But when it comes down to my identity of being a daughter, that's what crushes me. Like, every time. Like, tears, the whole thing. Is that I'm a daughter of the King, that I'm planted. I'm an oak of righteousness. And so she had my dad build this table for me, which is an oak tree table. Like, it's made from oak, and it's a huge table, and it's literally, the whole purpose is for people to gather with me around the table. Like, that is the most pure thing in the world, is that I don't need anything, but I didn't know my heart needed that, and it did. And so with all these flowers that everybody brought me, and these cards, I didn't read them until yesterday, and I sobbed sobbed uncontrollably reading them. For somebody who ministers, and I have seen this with other ministers, they pour out, but there's very few people that pour into them. And like being in a prophetic community and culture, I give a lot of words to people, but it's really rare for people to give me words. And that's something that's kind of stung. And I've had people come up to me and they're like, well, like, you know God's voice. And I'm like, that's true, I do. But like, I would love a word sometimes. And people are like, have literally told me I'm too scared to give you a word because what if it's wrong? And I'm like, but what if it's right? What if it's exactly what I need to hear? And so all of these words for me, and then my sister and Courtney and my parents, they have everybody gather around, and I'm sitting at this table. We eat around the table, you know, and then we take communion around the table, and then they all prayed over me. And I couldn't cry. I might cry now. I was just so overwhelmed because I was like, man, I didn't know I actually needed this. I didn't know that. Like, I say it all the time, like, when we minister to people on the streets. Like, a few weeks ago, we went, I guess it was last weekend, we'd ministered to the gay community at a gay pride event, and Jesus showed up, and multiple of these homosexuals had said to us, wow, you made me feel so seen. Wow, I've never been this celebrated before. Man, you love me so much. They just grip around us. They're just holding us, and like, it's not like in a weird way of like they're trying to like be all gay or anything like that. Like, they just genuinely want love, and it's by His kindness we come to repentance. And for I think a long time I was like, man, I'm just gonna love people really well because I actually don't know what love is. Like, I'll share it another time, but I know some people know my story of like, I was a pastor's kid, and then I sold myself, and I was so broken, and all I ever wanted to hear was, Abby, you're loved. Even though my parents loved me so well, even though I know the Lord loved me so well, but I had a deep wound inside of me that craved love more than anything. But I had never really met the man who loves us more than anything, that He gave His life for us. I had really never met that man before. And I'm sitting there at my birthday at this table that my dad made for me, that my friends graciously bought. Like, oak is not cheap. And they all gathered for me just to tell me, I love you, Abby. I love you, Abby. And like, they wrote out these amazing prophetic words for me, and it was so sweet and so encouraging. But the thing that hit me the most wasn't everything that they were seeing God doing in my life, but simply the last part. And throughout all of their letters, Abby, I love you so much. And it was like all of those years of pain, all of those years of church splits and being the reason why people left. It was like all those wounds on my back. It was like, Jesus is like, 25, you're healed of those. 25 is the salve. 25 is the year where the arrows aren't piercing you anymore, but it's my love that pierces you. And it's like, I can give that to other people because I know what it's like to feel unloved. I know what it's like to feel rejected. I know what it's like to feel isolated, all the different things. I know that. That's why I love people really, really well. But I don't let people love me really well because I'm so afraid that it will happen all over again. I'll be hurt. And it was like the most beautiful package that I didn't know I needed, but like I did at the same time. Like, I knew deep down that I needed it. And the Lord was so gracious to give it to me as I've gotten 1/4 of my life done. And He's like, the 3/4 that you have left, it's not going to be robbed of love. Like, it's going to be love. It's going to be love that moves your ministry. It's not going to be your zeal. It's not going to be your tenacity, because that's what I've worked on for so long. I'm very passionate. I'm full of zeal. I'm full of tenacity, and that's just gotten me so far. But as I was sitting with the Lord before my birthday, and even in the car, like, we had no service or anything, and I'm just looking out the window. It's a beautiful drive. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, as a little girl, I was always called out for my compassion. Like, people have given me words all the time, and I like I don't say the words to flaunt, but I think Heidi Baker is the definition of compassion. Like, she moves like Jesus. When people look at her, they see Jesus. And people have given me words as a little girl. Oh my gosh, you have that same heart of compassion like Heidi Baker. And that's true. I was moved with compassion over everything. Like, I wept over things as a little girl. And then things got hard, things happened, and it was like, I don't want to be moved by compassion. There's times on the mission field that I'm moved with compassion. There's times I'm moved with compassion. But I would say for the most part, I literally know, like in my head, there's moments where I'm like, I'm so moved with compassion right now. I want to do something. I want to go help them. But I literally will take a step back and I'm like, I don't want to get hurt. And I've let fear dictate my compassion. I've let fear and pain and trauma dictate my heart for people. And that's not fair to them. That's not fair to the Lord. Like, in my vow has been with the Lord, like, Lord, move me for what moves your heart. And I don't even honestly know why I'm exactly sharing this, but I feel like I need to. But I would say that, like, man, just the sweetness of the Lord to not just cauterize wounds, but to be like, man, the thing that you've been hurt with is the thing that you're going to walk in ministry with. You're going to be loved because I'm love. And so, I don't know, I feel like there's not much else to say, and this might be a short video. I honestly don't know how long I've been going for, but I just really want to read some verses and then I want to pray, because I feel like the more I do ministry, the more I come into contact with ministers, the more I come in contact with people in the church and people on the streets and everybody in between, the thing they are desperate for the most is love. To be celebrated, to be seen, to be at the table. And I don't think it's God's design. I know it's not God's design for us to live like orphans. I know it's not God's design for us to withhold love, or to not feel love, or to not love people well, because He is the definition of love. Like, Jesus is the definition of love. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever should perish. You know, like, He is the definition of love. And if He's in us, then why wouldn't we be the most lovable people? Why wouldn't we love the greatest? Like, we're known for our love. We're known for our compassion. We're known for looking people in the eyes and not just seeing them where they're at, but we see the gold. We're the people that go into a gold mine and don't find dirt. We find gold. That's who God's created us to be. And so I feel like there's such a thing in the kingdom right now that the Lord's just coming with the wave of His love. Like, His blood is His love, and it washes. And I don't know, I think it is also pretty cool that it's it's my 25th birthday, and it's the 250th birthday of America. And like, I would say, man, America's gonna get hit with love. Like, if there's any parallels to my life, like, yeah, we've been going off of zeal for so long. America's been going off of zeal, of passion and tenacity, but we've never been moved with love. Like, it's His love, it's His righteousness, it's being planted in Him. It's not being planted in anything else, because when you're planted in Him, you are love. You blossom love. That is just who you are, because that's who He is. In Romans it says, but God demonstrated His own love for us. While we were still sinners, He died for us. And Jeremiah said, this verse gets me every time. And I don't know why. I think it's because I've wanted it for so long. Like, I've wanted love. And I don't think I've sat on Papa's lap enough to experience the fullness of it. Jeremiah says, I have loved you with an everlasting love, and I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. There's so many other verses that I'm just reading here, and I'm getting blasted. And so I'm just gonna pray that the love of the Lord just goes through, because when you know you're loved by the Father, like, you can trust Him. When you love the Father, you can trust Him. And so I feel like the Lord's just going to take us, me specifically, and then us, on this journey of like, what is love? He is love. But like, what does that even look like? Because we each have our own wounds. We each have our own pains. We each have levels where we won't go because it hurts. We have intimacy problems. And all intimacy is like, into me, you see. Like, that's all it is. When it's intimacy with God, it's just seeing Him rightly. It's just letting Him behold us and us beholding Him. It's putting our hands in His scars. It's looking Him in the eyes and not looking away. One thing that our generation has a problem with, and I'm not talking about like a generation like Gen Z, I'm talking about a generation on the earth. We have a problem with, we can't look people in the eyes. Like, we get uncomfortable. We look people away. And like, that's where intimacy is unlocked at. And so I'm just going to pray, and then I just really feel like I want to actually have you guys do an activation, and then I want to pray for you guys. But I just want to like really commission you guys to love people well, like, because I felt love like at my birthday, and I know like it's your birthday, obviously you're supposed to feel loved, but like something happened, like something tangibly happened that healed my heart. And it was just somebody seeing me, honestly. It was just one person seeing me. And I went to the Gate Festival, and it's just looking somebody in the eyes, telling them they're loved by a good Father. It's never going to betray them. That's never going to abandon them. And it's like all those walls go down. That's all everybody wants to hear. They want to feel loved. They want to feel seen. And so I want to commission you guys to love people really well over this next week. I want you to find somebody to love. And maybe you're in the process, just like me. You loved people really well, and you don't get it. But I'm telling you, your day is coming. Your day is coming. When you love people well, those are the seeds you're going to harvest. When you throw out seeds of condemnation, that's the harvest you're going to get. When you throw out seeds of love, you're going to reap a harvest of love. And that's like basically karma, it's like what you get, you receive. But it's literally a biblical principle of you sow the seed and you're going to reap a harvest of it. What you sow, you receive. And so, Lord, I just thank you so much for everybody watching. Lord, I thank you that we get to live in America. And I know not everybody lives in America, but I know America is such a special nation. And so, Lord, I just declare that just because we're Americans and we go after independence doesn't mean we have to be independent. Lord, I just ask for the table to be built wherever somebody's longing, wherever somebody's been looking for love, that you would build a table and you'd commune with them. Lord, I ask that you begin to draw the right people to the table, that you begin to draw people to their tables that love them well, that see them well, that call out the gold in them well. Lord, would we create atmospheres, would we create kingdoms that reflect your kingdom, that reflect who you are, that we are designed for love, and that we would meet the man of love, that we would meet the author of love. Lord, would you begin to rewrite stories where there's been pain, where there's been trauma, where there's been lack, where there's been barriers that they don't want to love well. Would you begin to break those and rewrite our stories with love, that you are the author. Where there's been lack of trust, would you show us how to trust you well, Father? Lord, I just ask that as we step into this new season, and I know that like this is a new season of my life, but I'm calling them into it because I know you guys are at my table. Lord, I just ask that something fresh would happen, that we would sit at the table where there's salve of honey, and that all of the wounds would get healed, and that we would just get a fellowship, that we would get to enjoy each other, and that we get to enjoy you. One of the biggest revelations I ever had about Jesus is that he just enjoys me. He doesn't want anything from me. He just enjoys me. And I feel that so strong. As I said, that we would sit at a table where we would just enjoy each other. That some of you sit at the table and you sit there and you see your wounds and you're like, oh man, I know he knows my wounds. And he does. He knows us. But he's not afraid of your wounds. He enjoys you. He created your personality the way he did for a reason. And so, Lord, I just ask that the revelation that you enjoy us would just begin to overflood us as we go into this week and we love people well, that the enjoyment of the Son's face would be all over us. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully that was not a train wreck. Hopefully it made sense. I know you guys love these journeys with me, and honestly, I don't always understand why I share what I share with you guys, but without a doubt, somebody always comes up to me and says that that's exactly what they needed. So hopefully this means something to you guys. Love somebody really well this week. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.